Okay, so can you scroll that down a little bit? Okay, so in our first lesson before we had our week set, as you guys came in, we didn't really talk to you or anything. We just ran right into our lesson. It wasn't engaging for our students because it wasn't connected to anything. We just had them start right into it, and yeah, there was no real life connection or anything for them.
Before we also had the circle activity where there was no protractor, no real measurement device. It wasn't very accurate. And there was an observer instead of more measured, which it's less exact, and we wanted them to actually really see and prove to them that this really does happen. So after we did incorporate the protractor and use more exact calculations.
And in the first lesson, there was a little bit too much happening for the students. We had too many objectives all at once, so we cut it down from 4 to 2 because there was little focus and it was a lot of information for them. It'd be, I think, too much to absorb so that they wouldn't remember it as well, and there wouldn't be as much understanding.
Before there was a game, and it was just used as an informal way of assessment. But because we cut out all these objectives, we cut out the game and moved it to an extension activity or a possible later review.
And we also had a week closure. We didn't properly tie the lesson together, and it didn't lead into the next lesson. We just threw some questions at the kids and said, hey, there you go. Kids, I mean you guys, I guess. Just like, there you go, work on it, figure out the questions, and it just wouldn't have been very meaningful for them. So yeah, it wasn't good. So in setting up for the lesson, this time we're perking interest by giving them a real life problem. It's maybe not exactly what they would be using in setting up a movie theater, but it is something for the kids to tie to and maybe get them thinking about other real life examples where it might be used.
So we split the lesson into 2 because, like as we said before, there's just too much happening, so it's providing more focus, more opportunity for learning to occur. And we just thought this would create more meaning and help them really actually learn what's going on in the math class.
And yeah, I guess we talked up here about how the circle activity is more exact, like Kerri was saying, just to help prove to the students that they're not just seeing that the angles are close, like it's actually the same angle. And more constructive learning and independent learning. Students are developing the theorems on their own. Well, okay, we have with the computer on there, that's using the game. I think that was an old note actually. But they do get to use the computer later on. But they are learning more independently with our discussion and group talk, sort of, because they get to see the angles instead of me just telling them this is what it is. They get to kind of figure it out and discover it for themselves.
And we have the closure is defined and measures the amount of learning from that class. So we've connected the set and the closure to create a more well-rounded lesson. And it leads into the next lesson a little bit more with the problem, and we can discuss other theorems that go along with it, especially if we end up using the extension activity. And there are also more new worksheets that we put in.